Yo, what's poppin'? All my peeps, desire host with the most Renaissance man who always thinks he can, and champion of the peeps, Patty Pitts, back for another edition of Pitts and Sara's Wrestling Show Survivor Series predictions here in the Yard of Streams. And you can't be having Survivor Series predictions without the best of the West. You can't forget about Sara Marshall. What's popping, man?
Hey, yo.
Hello.
What's going on?
It's going.
We are however long. What is it? It's
Ow.
Wednesday. Did Remy just
No, she no. 72 or so hours.
72 hours or something like that. It is Wednesday as we record this. Survivor Series War Games is on Saturday. So we got to get our predictions out, Sara. I'm initial thoughts. I'm excited. I think this is going to be a very interesting pay-per-view.
I think it's going to be good, but I think I'm going to be disappointed. So I already feel it.
You already feel the disappointment already?
I think I just go into most pay-per-views feeling that way because when this is a show that has a lot of my favorite people on it.
Yeah.
And I just have a feeling that they're not going to win. So I'm already just prepared to be irritated because that's the feeling I have right now. So
do you think that's part of the old regime, like trauma? You know what I'm talking about? Like you're just so used to being.
I'm sure part of it, yeah, but I also feel like in a lot of ways, even though I mean, obviously Triple H has done a great job. I do think sometimes I don't understand why he has certain people winning or why it seems like he's protecting this person. And sometimes I think that it just the results don't make any sense. So I think that's why, I really wouldn't be surprised if, this team wins, even though they don't need to win, and the other team needs to win, or this person wins, but they shouldn't. You know what I mean? I feel like I've seen that a lot by Triple H. And so since I'm usually the one that is cheering for the bad guy, I generally have to deal with the disappointment a lot more often than others. So especially when it's something, like the Judgment Day, when they're in big matches, Triple H has them lose. So I'm just prepared in that sense.
I'm more optimistic.
Is this news to me?
No, it's not news. It's not new. It might be news to some people in the chat who are new here, which if you are new, welcome. But if you're, it's just, I have a different outlook. That's really, I don't know. I'm not going in expecting to be disappointed to this one, but I am expecting something, we'll say historic, to go down.
Okay.
I'm expecting this to go down as a cement, this pay-per-view to be one that cements Triple H's legacy as head of creative. He needs to have this one low-key be a home run. And I'm expecting it to be as such, especially with the limited amount of matches we have. I know obviously War Games, 2 of them. So you got to treat it like a Royal Rumble. You got to treat it like a Royal Rumble. So it's going to be a less card. But
that means more time for the matches. So fine with me.
There it is. There it is, Sarah. We're on the same page here. So you want to just...
Yeah, you want to click on it?
Yeah, I'll click on it. We got Vinny in the house. What's up, Vinny?
What's up?
We'll start off. Ladies first, obviously. We have the ladies, the women's War Games match. Team Bianca Belair consisting of Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch and Shotzi.
Blackheart. Shotzi Blackheart, but they don't call her that anymore.
I wish they call. I would like to call her Shotzi Blackheart. I'm gonna call her
Then
Shotzi
go for it.
Blackheart. Yeah, we're gonna do that on the show. And Shotzi Blackheart taking on Damage Control, consisting of Bailey, Io Sky, Asuka, and Kairi Sane.
My initial thoughts on this is I think Team Bianca is winning. And although they don't need to win, I think that this is going to be a moment that furthers the cracks in Damage Control. So that's why I feel like they're probably going to be the ones that lose. I think it's going to be Bailey that's probably going to get pinned, or she's going to be the reason that they lose. And I think, I mean, we're already seeing some hints that Bailey is going to be on her way out at some point.
Yeah.
So I think this is probably the kickstart to that. If it's not the official, like, oh, she's out immediately after this, I do think that this is going to be like one of those moments that's going to make the other girls be like, because they're already not looking like they're on board with Bailey being around. So if she contributes to the loss or is the reason that they lose, to me, that's the whole point of Damage Control losing, you know?
Yeah. I have a feeling that you're gonna have a heel faction or heel team and babyface team, one win in some capacity and one lose. And I think the heel faction here, the bad guys, they'll lose in this match.
Yeah.
And I don't think it'll do anything to their stature. If they lose, you're not gonna be like, oh, like,
yeah,
upset.
Yeah.
But only if Bailey takes the fall.
Yeah. That's the only thing that makes sense. If they're going to lose, that's how it has to be. If it's any other way, then I don't get it.
Or Bailey cost them, so maybe
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like she either has to be the cause or she has to be the one who's pinned. Like that's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Because the dynamic that's going on right now, because the dynamic that's going on right now in that group really feels to me like high school cafeteria vibes. You have the three popular girls that are cliquey and whatnot. You have the outsider of the group in Bailey who may have pissed off one of the girls by accident or on purpose and didn't think it would come back to haunt them. And then Dakota Kai's really kind of playing puppet master right now. Trying to play both sides, but ultimately we know where her allegiances are going to lie, in my opinion. So to me, this match has really nothing to do with Team Bianca.
No.
They are just there to play a role.
It feels like and I think part of it is because you kind of forget that Damage Control was the reason why Bianca was off TV. Like I feel like most people have already forgotten that because it's just like they kind of played that up, but not really. And I don't think, I think most people know that Bianca was off TV for a break. Like people know that she wasn't actually injured by Damage Control. So I think that's part of it too. But yeah, I mean, there's no reason for Charlotte, Becky, Bianca to win. Like if anything, it would help Shotzi. Like we said, it would be good if Shotzi is the one who has like the biggest spot in the match, or even if she's the the one who gets the pin or is the reason that they win. But other than that, there's no reason for these top girls to win the match. So that's why it feels like if they're going to win, it's because they're trying to further the Damage Control story and because there's no story on the other side. That's the only thing that makes any sense.
And Shotzi getting the pin would actually complete this story full circle. This would legitimately close the chapter on Bianca, Damage Control, and all that, and they can all go their separate ways leading up to Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And I like that element of this because right now, and I know we're not the only two who agree with this, but these main events for both sides, women's and men's, War Games matches, not main events, War Games matches. They have been overdrawn stories
Yeah.
that have just been going on for so long that you need a conclusion to it.
Yeah.
The women's match needs like a Shotzi pinning Bailey, just an emphatic statement win by the faces so that you can just go all in on this damage control, workings, Mean Girls story.
Agreed.
And then we have some comments here.
I was going to say we should get to some comments because I saw a new face in there too.
We saw a new face. This guy, Chrome Knuckle.
Chrome Knuckle. What is up?
Chrome Knuckle. I love that name. He asked, what about Jade Cargill? So much momentum for nothing.
That's the part that I think is a little confusing to me because, there had been reports, and I think we knew too, that it was going to take a little bit for her to be called up or debut, I guess, because, WWE is a completely different animal than AEW. And she's also, I wouldn't say she's green because she's not that new, but she is relatively new to the professional wrestling world. So for her to then come to a company that has like a practice field of wrestling, wrestling rings, it's perfect for her to be able to like get better and improve and whatever before she debuts. But I do think, I think it wasn't a bad idea for them to tease her when the signing was initially announced. But I do think it is kind of weird. Like, it's been weeks now since we've seen her. And so it's almost like they wanted to hype it up that she was around. And then they were like, okay, wait, we want to keep her like secret again because we want people to be even more excited when she debuts or something. I don't know, but
I have a feeling it's all building to her entering the Women's Royal Rumble.
That would be, that wouldn't be a bad idea because there's nothing between Survivor Series and Rumble. So,
and if there's a match to have her debut in to then potentially lead into an organic feud, it would be for her to be in the Rumble and eliminate someone or have someone eliminate her. Boom, there's your first, feud, we'll say. That's where my mind goes when it comes to Jade Cargill, because right now, if you think about it, there's nothing really you could put her in that doesn't feel forced.
Well, and if you put her in something after Survivor Series, it's going to be something that they would have to play out on Raw or SmackDown for weeks and weeks and weeks. And that would just get quickly stale because there's only so much you can do to try and fill the time between pay-per-views. It's like, you can have big matches on the weekly programming, but it's not going to have the same feel. And if you're trying to make Jade into this like big marquee name, then you can't really have her doing those types of matches on Raw or SmackDown right now. Like, that kind of defeats the hype, I would say.
Yeah, agreed. David is here. He's just cooking dinner. What do we have for dinner, David? What do we have for dinner this Wednesday night? Feels like a Friday to me because of the holiday, and I do have the day after the holiday off.
Do you have to work tomorrow?
No.
Oh, okay. So do you have Thursday, Friday?
I have to work Saturday, but then I have Sunday, Monday.
Wow. Sweet.
That's awesome. That was my reaction too.
Yeah.
The Vinny saying it's a tradition girls versus emo girls.
Emo girls. It would be me. I was like the wannabe emo though. Like, I was like emo on the inside. I just couldn't get the look on the outside. So
yeah, I'm not. I love the music. I'm more like the emo internally.
If I could be a cool emo chick, I would. It just doesn't. It just doesn't work with me. So
yeah, I'm too positive.
I'm not.
I'm just way too positive.
Yeah, no.
I can't do it. Do we have any here? Bailey doesn't fit her own group.
I think, I mean, the fact that Asuka and Kairi are in it now, then but I think that was the whole point. They probably wanted to I think people have wanted to see a group of Asuka, Kairi, and Io for a long time, and I am so excited that it's happening. But I think that Damage Control has been around for almost like a year and a half at this point. So I think that it's not a bad time for them to finally move on from it, or at least like Bailey move on, because Bailey's had a great however many years it's been, like 4 or 5 years at this point that she's been a heel. It's time for her to have another shift. Like, it was time when she switched from, the side ponytail, the positive, like floaty guys or whatever.
Wacky Playable Two Men.
Yeah.
Wacky Playable Two Men.
It was time for her to turn heel at that point, and now it's at that point again where it's time for her to turn babyface. So
we need to see face Bailey again. I could not agree more.
And it'll be interesting because it's going to be a completely different kind of baby face for Bailey. So that makes it a little bit more interesting, because she's obviously not going to revert back to being a hugger,
Yeah, you're right. Like, what kind of face can she be without the very green hugger gimmick?
So that's the thing that makes it more exciting to see, because now she's older and she's done so much more since then. So it's like, okay, so what will she try to do? What will she be? It's gonna be fun.
Very fun. Very fun. I'll ask this comment now. It was a good question by our new guy, Chrome Knuckle. What is your opinion of having a major pay-per-view like Survivor Series and not having the main titles on the show? Universal World Championship and United States also. Well, United States can take a break from being defended at pay-per-views. That I don't mind. But I want your opinion on this, Sarah.
I take issue with the United States champion not being around, but that's a conversation for another day. I think we had someone subscribe to our channel because of our argument about Logan Paul, by the way. Like, somebody commented and was like saying that they could tell that we were really passionate about the business, and he was like, is this like the typical dynamic between the two, or was this just like a special thing? And I was like, no, this is standard when it comes to a topic like this. But I just thought that was funny because I think he subbed.
You should sub
I'm kind of torn on this because I feel like I don't like that it is considered one of the big 4, big 5, whatever of the year, and neither title is being defended. Like, that is kind of frustrating because you feel like those main shows, those pillar shows of the company, it should be highlighted by the champions. But I think I don't know. I like I said, I'm torn. I think I take issue with Roman not being around all the time, so that bothers me. But I guess the one way that I can get around it is like, okay, well, at least Seth's on the card, in some capacity. Gunther is there, and he's having a title match finally, so that's good. We will have one women's championship match, so at least that is there. Io will be in a match too, but not defending the title. United States Championship, doesn't surprise me that it's not being defended because he just won it 2 weeks ago. So I think he should be on SmackDowns, but maybe after this he'll be showing up. I don't know. But yeah, I'm kind of unsure how I feel about it, honestly.
I take more of an issue that the champion's not on the show. When you think of Survivor Series in the main 4 pay-per-views in total, Survivor Series has always been team v team, no matter what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been the main focus of the show historically for years. So in that case, that's where my view goes. So War Games having that and having a champion be in the match like Seth is, fine. The champion's doing something. He may not be defending it, doesn't need to because he's dealing with something else, team v team. It's the issue that Roman Reigns is not on the card. That's where I take issue, because it is a major 4 pay-per-view. It always has been, and it's been a major 4 because of its difference in how
it's
the
unique.
theme of the show, its uniqueness. And even now with War Games adding another unique element to it, so I don't mind if they don't do a 1v1 or just even defending the title at all. It's all about the champion being on the show. That's where I take issue. Because you
Yeah.
could do something right now with the bloodline. Maybe not right now. No, with right now, you could be doing something with the bloodline. You absolutely could be doing. And, I just take real issue to that.
I take a real issue that he did 52 matches last year and only did 11 this year.
That's
the
where
issue I have.
that's I think one that we share because
Yeah, I mean that's like
that's bad.
I mean you literally wrestled only like 20% of what you did last year. Like there's no excuse for that.
No,
And I don't
not.
even want to get into that conversation.
No,
if you
that's a
want to see what we
whole-
have to say about that, we have a video about it. But yeah, I'm with you though. So
All right, moving on here to our next match. Carlito taking on Santos Escobar. Can I say I'm just very excited for this match? Like this is gonna be a banger.
you know, and it's funny because I think that I knew this, but I totally forgot. So seeing Santos have this heel turn or whatever, and I love how they just immediately went back to the Legado del Fantasma music.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where you're like, oh, cool, yeah, they're pushing a young talent, blah blah blah. Santos is 39 years old. It's like,
Really?
yeah, he's 39. So it's kind of just funny that it's like, you're like, oh, cool, they're pushing this new guy, blah blah blah, and it's like, no, he's 39. Like he's not a spring chicken. But I feel like that can kind of work in their favor for this match because Carlito's older too. It's not like he's running around doing the same thing as like Dragon Lee. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
He's not doing those moves.
I feel it's so hard when I try to do predictions because I feel like I know what should happen, and then it makes it difficult for me to figure out what will happen. Because to me, Santos should win if we're trying to make him be this bad guy and whatever, and to potentially continue this feud either with Carlito or the LWO in its entirety. And it feels like if this is going to be his first match as a full-blown heel, then he has to win. Like Carlito doesn't gain anything from winning. You know what I mean? It actually makes like Santos lose credibility if he loses.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, you're right. Because if he does lose, then you need to make him a strong heel. I'm just interested to see if they have more than one match in their saga, we'll say. So maybe Carlito takes this one.
Well, then you have to remember Dragon Lee last week on SmackDown had said something about how he wanted a match and he was so upset about what Santos had done. So that could be something too. Like he might not be an official member of the LWO, but maybe they'll try and kind of insert him into the storyline for Santos to go against, to add more, because no one, I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but no one's really going to care about him going against Cruz del Toro or Joaquin Wilds, or excuse me, no. Raul and Joaquin. Do you remember? Because he called him his real name.
Oh, I don't remember. No, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Santos last week when he was doing his promo and they came out, he called them Joaquin and Raul. And I'm like, that's not Raul.
Ooh, I like that. A little spice there.
Yeah, well, he said his real name on accident. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see that too, and I'm here for that. Dragon Lee, yeah. But you know what else would be cool? I just thought of this. I would love for Santos, so if we're going to go full-blown heel, have him win, because guess what he uses? The brass knuckles. Have him use the brass knuckles. Because
that's brilliant.
It's such a callback, right, to what happened with Rey Mysterio, and he wants to be like, oh, it was an accident, whatever, and Carlito took such an issue with it. Have him hit Carlito with the brass knuckles behind the ref's back and have him win. That way.
That's better than what I was going to suggest. That's way better. I was going to say 619. That's
the type of stuff that he can still do. I would just love for him to use those brass knuckles,
No, that's such a good way to finish the match.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a good one. Because then you go.
it makes you call into question even more. Like, oh, was it an accident? Like, did he leave the brass knuckles there for Logan? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it
Yeah.
adds more to that and adds another layer to the drama that will inevitably happen. You think between him and Ray whenever Ray returns? You know.
Oh yeah, the Ray Mysterio Santos Escobar match, whenever Ray comes back, is gonna slap, and that
Mm.
to me feels like it would be one of the last Ray Mysterio matches
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah. And it could, I mean, it's just like any other legend that like wants to put over, you know, the next guy or whatever.
Mhm.
So I could see that.
Oh, I like that. I'm still that like that happens. That would be so friggin' cool.
If it happens, I would be like, guys,
You'd be a champion in your own right. There you go. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Arigato.
Arigato.
That's nasty.
Can he be on the card? Can we just like throw Tozawa? Tozawa to me is like the new Funaki. Just put him places.
I feel like he needs to just be like a member of the New Day. That's like what he is.
The New Day?
Basically. Yeah, him being a part of the New Day.
You don't like
He's
Alpha?
No, I'm saying he should almost be a part of the New Day because of like the moves that he's doing, and
Oh,
then like
true,
Xavier's
yeah.
always like, "That's nasty,"
That's
you know, like and then he's like
nasty.
moving his hips and stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh,
All that gyrating.
yeah,
So we both got Santos.
yes,
All right, so we're both agreeing in both matches here. I just don't see any other reason, and I think we're going to agree in this match too. Sarah, we have a mommy defending her title against Zoe Stark. I'm excited for this match because this is going to be a competitor that Rhea needed to fight to cement her reign as champion. You had the Zelina Vegas and you had your Natalias. Even Raquel Rodriguez was a good foe. But Zoe Stark, the way she's viewed backstage, highlighted in current programming, this is a hot star that if you get a win over her, that's just makes you that much more dominant of a champion. I see it happening. I see it.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a good match, and I think, like you said, I think that she's the perfect opponent for Rhea right now. And to me, there's not in it. I feel like Rhea is going to win, and I think she needs to win. And it's not even necessarily anything against Zoe. I just think that I don't want to see Rhea lose the title as long as Judgment Day is still hot and going. You know, I feel like she has to be the last one to lose her title. So we would have to see Finn and Damian lose the tag titles before her, and Dominic lose the North American title before she does. Like, I feel like no matter when they lose the title, Rhea has to be the last one. And I don't know that that's going to happen for a while. I don't think they want to. Like, I really would not be shocked if they keep her champion until Mania.
There's no reason to. There's no legitimate reason to, because you don't. As much as Zoe's a good opponent for Rhea, you don't think that Zoe's just gonna knock her off that easily.
Yeah.
You know? And you can do a little bit more with this feud. You can have this be one match and then Zoe, being a thorn in Rhea's side until Rumble, and then Rumble ends it. And there's a lot of the ways you can go here.
Yeah, but I feel like I don't have a whole lot to say about what this is going to be other than I think Rhea wins. So, and I think she has to.
I don't think there is much else to say other than you just don't have it be a squash match.
Yeah, and I don't think I don't think they'll do that though, especially not with Zoe being so over backstage,
How much interference do you think Rhea has to win the match?
I don't think she'll have any.
You don't think
I would say no, because they have to be there for War Games. So I feel like if there wasn't a War Games match, then maybe, but I don't know that she tends to not really have as much interference as the men do. You know, like Dominic is always there, JD McDonough is always there, Finn is always coming around, but she doesn't have it as often. And I think a part of it is like, yeah, Dominic will come out and be more of a distraction and he gets hit. Rather than him coming to her aid and like hitting the girl, you know, and obviously it's because that line is still there where they don't want to cross the men and women fighting each other.
Yeah, I don't
So,
want to cross that threshold.
and I think that it kind of delegitimizes Rhea a bit when she has help. Like we don't want it to become the next like Roman Reigns that just always wins the title and retains it because she gets help.
Yeah,
know?
she needs to be more like a Gunther type of
Exactly.
reign.
Yeah. I agree.
All right, that's all I got.
Same.
Speaking of Gunther,
Hey, babe.
the ring and around. I did it so poorly.
We're gonna have to get to comments after this because there's a lot.
There's a lot here.
Appreciate
Actually, let's get to comments now.
Okay, I was gonna say I just saw that there was like 30 something.
Yeah, most of them are Chrome and Vinny kind of.
Well, I appreciate it.
So we love the interaction.
Keep on talking, y'all.
Santos probably have to fight everyone at the LWO ending with Ray at WrestleMania.
That's not a bad idea. I just don't know if Ray will be okay by WrestleMania. That's less than 5 months away, and he's having knee surgery, so I don't know.
I think that's when you do it. I think you could.
I just don't know if he'll be healthy.
He had knee surgery.
I know, but I don't know. 5 months is asking a lot for a wrestler to come back from major knee surgery. So that's what I'm saying, and he put it off for 3 months. So
that's
I don't
true.
know. So I don't know.
We have a Tozawa comment. WWE is trying to get Tozawa the same momentum Danny Garcia has with the dance. I don't like it at all. Oh,
I see it differently. And I know who Danny Garcia is because of that stupid dance. Yeah. I don't think there's a correlation because I think the thing that Tozawa did blew up and they're just trying to take advantage of it. I don't think that it was a planned thing. I think it was just like, oh yeah, like just do this in the back and, you know, have this funny backstage segment. And then because it blew up online and became a meme, they were like, okay, let's just keep going with it because they keep having the same people. They keep having Xavier say, that's nasty. Like they keep doing the exact same thing. And he did something a little bit differently this past Raw too. Like he was like swiveling his hips and whatever. So it's like that's a little different. But I don't think it's gonna be like Tozawa's thing the same way that it is for, you know, Garcia. I don't think that it's gonna be something that it's like lasting months and months or years or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I don't. It's a flash in the pan.
Yeah, I think it's just for right now because it's hot right now.
I actually like the way they push Stark to the match with Rhea, but Rhea needs the W. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. They've done a really good job pushing her.
I do like the angle that she was going with being like, oh, you're distracted because you're doing all this stuff for Judgment Day and you're not paying attention to me and blah blah blah. I think that was a good way to make it more interesting, you know, other than her just winning a battle royal and becoming the #1 contender. So
Sarah, you know you love the dance.
Nah. No, I just don't get it. I saw the video of Tony doing it and that just no.
So I was my friends and I were hanging out, like drinking at one of my buddy's houses, and I did the dance.
I think I remember you said this, yeah.
And my friends are like on the floor laughing because they don't watch wrestling. They have no idea who Daniel Garcia is. And they thought it's the most absurd dance ever. And every time I show it to them, they just cackle because it's so absurd. Might pull that one out the bar soon. That would get all the ladies.
Don't do it when you're in my presence.
What?
No.
What if we're just on the mean streets or we're in Broad Street in Philly? No. Just what's up?
No, because we're going to WrestleMania. We're not going to Collision. Okay.
It is an elite move though. Okay. So yeah. All right, back to the topic in hand. We got Gunther. We got the awesome one, The Miz, fighting for the Intercontinental Championship. There's no way The Miz wins. I'm sorry. There's just
I feel
fires
like
in
they did a really great job at actually making it seem like Miz had a chance, because I think Gunther has gotten that reputation now where, when he has a title match that he's not losing. And this one makes me feel a little bit more uncomfortable.
Mhm.
So I think they did a pretty good job with that, especially with them just completely blowing us away with their back and forth on Monday.
Mhm.
And just the way that Gunther, I felt like, dug himself into a bigger heel hole with how he was attacking Miz, because it was going after the fans at the same time. So it felt
Oh,
like, yeah, he's getting more heel heat this way. Uh yeah, I feel uncomfortable because I wouldn't be surprised, but I feel like you can't have Gunther lose right now. He has to be champion at least until Rumble.
at
And then
least.
after, if he loses, then he has to win the Rumble and go to the main event, or he has to just have a main event World Heavyweight Championship match at Mania.
And yeah. Yeah, like he's so good right now, and I honestly feel like he's evolving. He's getting even
Mhm.
better. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, we know he's an absolute beast in the ring, just absolute hard hitter, all that. Now it's time for him to get better on the mic. I think he doesn't need to get that much better because look
No.
at the promo that he cut on Miz already. I
Yeah.
mean, he's so good on the mic, in the ring, that he's bringing that prestige back to the Intercontinental Championship. Going up against The Miz only cements that run, that reign that he's having is even more legitimate, and that he is the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all
Yeah.
time, not
Mhm.
only on the mic, but the matches that he's putting on in the ring. Going up against The Miz, like, they could low-key have the match of the night. Like,
Mhm.
low-key could steal the show.
Mhm.
And
And I think that Miz isn't the right guy to dethrone him. I think that, he's been a two-time Grand Slam champion. It's not like he needs to, it's not the same as like Sheamus, who's never won the Intercontinental Championship, or
yeah,
Chad Gable, who has never won a singles title. Like, those, I feel like, make more sense if they were going to, either of them are going to be the one to dethrone him. But at this point, it's like the Miz is over as a babyface as it is right now. He doesn't need to be Intercontinental Champion. And Miz is at that point in his career where he's not there every single week, and I'm sure he probably doesn't want to be there every single
me
week, but
too.
you kind of have to be when you're the Intercontinental Champion at
Yeah,
this point,
mhm,
given all of the prestige, as you said, that Gunther has given it. So you
mhm,
can't just then become, Roman Reigns and devalue it immediately. So yeah, it's Gunther or bust. And if this is the one where this is the match I would throw myself out the window. If the Miz won, I would literally just dive headfirst out the window.
Oh, I'd find traffic and play in it.
Yeah.
I 100% if
Yeah.
Miz won.
Yeah.
I would absolutely play in traffic if The Miz won. You
Mhm.
cannot have The Miz
I
be the
know.
one who dethrones Gunther.
Mm-mm.
That makes 0 sense.
I agree. I
That's
agree.
that's all I gotta say about that. That's all I think we need to say about that, but we have some comments, so
Okay.
let's say stuff about that. Wow, Gunther just got on my radar. Welcome. Friggin'
Vinny,
welcome.
you've been watching us long enough. What
How
took you so long to get on the Gunther train? How dare you?
friggin' dare you?
How dare you? How dare
I'm
you?
not even the big
I
heel
mean, I
guy.
even got Pat on Imperium. I
You
got Pat
did.
on Imperium. I got Pat on Judgment Day. I got Pat on Pretty Deadly.
Pretty Deadly's the one 1,000%, that's a you.
Yes.
I was just thinking they're your run-of-the-mill tag team, and they are completely the opposite.
Yes. Yes.
Which one? Let me see where we okay, so we started there. The Miz can't be the one to dethrone Gunther.
Yeah.
Love it, Chrome.
He's a great in-between opponent. In between pay-per-views and stuff like he's a great guy for him to go against right now, but it wouldn't feel right, I feel like, for him to be the one. The only people that would make sense to, or that would be happy about it, are people who have been like Miz super fans, like people who have supported him for so long. Those are the only ones that would be thinking that it made the sense.
Are
But
there any Miz super fans out there?
my friend used to be a huge Miz super fan. I paid him.
Really?
I met the Miz
I'm jealous of that. I actually would like to meet the
in
Miz.
2011, 2010, in 2010 or 2011.
Was he champ? Was he WWE champ?
No, he was a main event guy though. He was very nice. I hate his signature. He does a stupid smiley face with it. It's horrific. I hate it.
He has a smiley face with his.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it. If I can find it online. It's so hideous.
You need to have a good signature. That's one thing I've learned.
I hate his. It's so ugly. I don't know if he's still. Oh yeah, this is just horrific.
Oh, you found it. It looks like
it's got like eyebrows and stuff.
Yeah, eyes. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's horrid. I hate it.
Those look like things on your chest. All right.
Oh,
that's what I see. Trying to be PG, but it's not really possible when you throw those in my face. Old man Mob, happy early Thanksgiving to you as well. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving.
I know, and tomorrow's my mom's birthday also.
Ooh,
I know today's my aunt's birthday. They're a year and a day apart. So
twins.
Yes, so they tend to rotate whose birthday is on Thanksgiving. And then of course my aunt was born the day that JFK was taken out. So same year, same day.
I'm laughing at the wording of that. The JFK was taken out.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah. What's up, y'all? Raw 94. No. Okay. Old man Mob. Miz doesn't get enough credit. He paid his dues and has been one of the wrestlers who WWE could rely on for a while. To me, he's Mr. WWE at the end of the day. You know, he's up there on the echelon of guys like Cena, was Edge for a little bit, Randy Orton, for sure. Who didn't?
Well, whatever. I mean, that's like Gunther saying he was a future Hall of Famer, 1,000%.
Okay, Chrome Knuckle, you're in good company because I've been trying to get Sara to be a fan of Dalton Castle for so long. Dalton Castle is one of the most electric.
That's the one you were just telling me about, right? With like the Flamingo Boys or whatever.
Yeah, boys! And he comes out and he grabs the camera and he cuts up. Oh my God, he's electric. He's absolutely electric.
I don't care. I'm just obsessed with Pretty Deadly. So,
but him and Pretty Deadly would be a very interesting combo. I would have to say. All right, Gunther. I will give David a nice little comment here because he says that Gunther is someone I hope they never ever turn face. He needs to be a heel or someone like the Miz that can toe the line. I never want to see Gunther as a full blown face. He's a natural heel. He really is.
I don't feel like he even has the look of a baby face. I feel like they couldn't ever do it. Like he doesn't look like a nice guy, and I don't mean that in a mean way. It's just like. You know, when it's like there's those character actors where you always see them in shows and they're always like the serial killer or like the bad guy. Like they're always
the guy in You.
No, because he was on Gossip Girl. So no. But I'm saying like, okay, so I watch like Law and Order SVU, like I've watched Criminal Intent, Criminal Minds, like those types of shows. I've seen the same actors play the bad guy on like all of the different shows, and it's because they just have that look. And it's like they have to play a bad guy because that's just what they look like, and I kind of feel like that's what Gunther looks like. Like there's just no way that he could, but I agree. I think he has to always be a heel, or kind of like what LA Knight was for a while, where it was like dependent on the day. Like if you cheered for him or you hated him, but you like always cheered for him, or like what I've said, like Stone Cold Steve Austin, Eddie Guerrero, where it was like they kind of just tiptoed over that line, just depending on the week.
Like Lesnar, kind of. All right, it's time for the men's War Games match. We have Team Cody Rhodes taking on Team Judgment Day. Team Cody Rhodes, made up of obviously the American Nightmare himself. Main event: Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, Seth freaking Rollins, and newly announced Randy Keith Orton taking on the Judgment Day of Dominic Mysterio, JD McDonough, Damian Priest, and ally, we'll say ally of the Judgment Day, Drew McIntyre.
You forgot someone, and I don't appreciate it.
I did. I forgot the demon, Finn Balor, as well, as he looks at me and points at me in the background.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. How dare you?
I'm sorry. I'm he's kind of just no excuse. No
He's not.
excuse there.
I was gonna say you can't
No
say he's
excuse.
forgettable.
He's not
Okay.
forgettable. I was trying in my head to justify it. He is completely it'd be like JD forgetting the Funko Pop, JD McDonough, which
Mhm.
that is the funniest. They call him a Funko Pop now.
Oh my god.
So yeah, what are we thinking here, Sarah? What are we thinking?
I'm so conflicted because I really think Judgment Day needs to win. I think this is a big match for Judgment Day, and there's no reason for Team Cody to win other than Randy getting a win in his like return match. But Randy is so far in his career that wins and losses don't change anything. They don't change how people feel about him. Doesn't change his trajectory to the top. He's already at the top. So like none of them need the win. It doesn't help any of their stories. Like Cody doesn't need this to like finish the story. You know what I mean? Like it's just basically like we hate you and we hate you too. Let's fight. Like there's just nothing there. But like Judgment Day can't keep losing these big matches. You know, like it because then again it's like then they go out there every single week and they're like we run Raw and it's like do you though? Because you keep losing.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't I mean I guess that they're champions or whatever, but it's like yeah, but even that they regained the tag titles because of Drew McIntyre. So and I think that's a factor that we need to consider as well. Like Drew needs to win this match. Like he doesn't have to be the one that gets the pin or whatever, but like you can't have him join forces with the Judgment Day and then have him lose. So it's the same situation like we were saying earlier. Like you can't have Santos be a full-blown heel and have him lose his first match as a heel. Like that doesn't work well. What I would love is because we saw that little like from Jay about Randy returning. I would love for Randy to be the reason why they lose. I would love for him to just decide, you know what, F it, and just like RKO Jay out of nowhere and just let Judgment Day pin him. I would love that because then it's like, again, he knows that they don't need to win, but like, why am I going to try and help this dude win after what he did? He took me out for 18 months. So this is my opportunity. So cool. Make him think we're cool, we're buddies, we're friends, we're on the same team. And then right at the last second, it's just us in the ring. I take you out. I would love that.
Yeah, there's no need for Cody's team to win this match if you want to establish Judgment Day as the group that runs Monday Night Raw. They may need to win the War Games match and come out on top. I would be very upset if we do have the babyface team go over because there's no reason to. I mean, the only thing I could see from this, or not the only thing, from this you could have multiple feuds branch off. You can do a Cody Drew thing. You can have in my eyes and everyone's eyes, Jay and Randy Orton to build up a little bit. Like, there's different avenues to go down. So go that way instead of just having the faces win.
Well, because I think it's similar to what we were saying about the women's War Games matches. Like, yeah, it does feel like a lot of the storyline with the Judgment Day needs to end. But this, even if the Judgment Day win, and if it's because of Randy turning on Jay or whatever it is, that does end it with the Judgment Day. That means, okay, we got Randy who can have issues with anybody on his team because they could all be pissed at him for costing them the match. He could feud with Jay. He could feud with Drew because they had hinted at that. He could do any of that. Then any of them could feud with Drew because he's not on Judgment Day's team. Like, he's not in the group,
Yeah.
but then Judgment Day can go and do something else. Like, they don't have to actually feud with any of these guys after that if that's how this match ended. And if they want to end those feuds in that storyline, then yeah, that's an easy way for it to be done, because it's the same thing like we said. If Bayley is the reason why Damage Control loses, okay, well then there's turmoil in there within Damage Control. That's feuds. Bianca, Charlotte, and Shotzi can do whatever. Becky goes back to Raw. So it's like there's a bunch of stuff that they could do with Judgment Day winning. They don't have to lose in order to create new stories. That doesn't, I mean, the only way it would create new stories, I guess, is if there was some sort of issue within the Judgment Day. But it's like, are they really going to be trying to break up Judgment Day right now? Like, I don't know, but it seems more, that seems more like something they should be doing, not based off of the result of this match.
Agreed. Do you think we get a cash in?
I don't think so. I can't imagine a War Games match ends in a cash in. I would like to believe that they're all going to be so banged up, including Damian, that he's not going to be able to do it.
Didn't say that ends the match. What about afterwards?
No, I'm not talking about. No, I'm saying I don't think there's a cash in at all.
At all.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm saying because of the intensity of this match, it would be kind of crazy to think about Damian feeling good enough to be able to like actually take Seth down. You know what I mean? And then again, I feel like they would have to win. Judgment Day would have to win, because then if they could somehow separate Seth from the rest of the group, he's going to rely on those other dudes with him to take Seth out to make sure he could win from a cash in. Because otherwise, you would think, based on everything that they do in a War Games match, Damian's going to be beat up. He's not going to be able to just be like rely on Seth being beat up, because it's like, if you're not beat up enough to not cash in, then what makes you think he's not beat up enough to lose? You know, like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point. I could see something along the lines of what you're saying. Everyone's so beat down, and you know, the match ends with everyone on the mat in some way, shape, or form, and Mommy Rhea coming out with the briefcase and doing something along the lines of just putting Damian's hand over Seth's shoulder or whatever to get the pin, something as simple as that. And then you can do something along the lines of who's the real leader, because Mommy was the one who won Damian the title technically by putting his hand over him to pin him.
We all know who's the boss, though. Come on.
I know, but it adds a little spice to it. It adds a little spice to the dynamic of who's the real leader of Judgment Day. If you're gonna do a cash in, you gotta have it be creative in that way. You know, not just the standard. I'd say John Cena after an Elimination Chamber or Hell in a Cell, where he's just like, "Oh, he's down. Okay, let's do it." It needs to be something that gets the fans like off their seat, because they haven't seen this before.
Oh my gosh, like the one that I was at SummerSlam for, when Triple H was the special guest referee for Daniel Bryan, and then Randy comes out.
Oh my God. I was actually here where I am right now, jumping up and down, going no effing way.
Didn't I show you the video?
I think you did.
I don't know if and then all me and my sister are saying, "Oh my God. Oh my God." That's all we're saying the entire time. I'm like, ew, but like that's just how it felt.
So out of left field. It was so out of left field. That's what makes it a great cash in.
And we were so excited because we were like the only people there that were Randy fans. And like I didn't have anything against Daniel Bryan, but like I never was a fan. So it's like I mean, you know, during the underdog story of Daniel Bryan, I was like, yay. But like when Randy came out to screw him up, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm a big Randy girl. So yeah. So we're standing there like, yeah, and everyone else is like, boo. I'm like, no, that was fantastic.
So hard in this basement.
It was great.
So hard. All right, so we got Judgment Day taking.
Yeah.
I think we agreed on every match.
I know, and that's what worries me a little bit.
Oh, why? Because I'm
just because I feel like if that's how the card goes, I would be so happy, and that's why I feel like It's not what's going
But
to
it's the only
happen.
things that make sense, really.
That's what I said at the beginning. I feel like my picks are the only thing that made sense. But Triple H doesn't always do what makes the most sense. And when I was looking at people's predictions, everybody had Team Cody winning.
But why?
Well, I feel like you also, I don't know. They didn't really explain it. They just said who they thought was going to win. But I think you can't have both babyface War Games teams win. That's lame to me.
You could have both heels.
I mean, yeah, but I feel like that still doesn't make sense for Damage Control story. But yeah, I don't think that both teams, both War Games teams, babyface teams don't need to win. So I
They
mean,
don't need to win at all.
No, they don't. I mean, yeah, both heel teams could win, but like I still think that if out of either match, the men's babyface team makes more sense to win or lose. Sorry, the women's babyface team makes more sense to win. That's what I meant. Yeah. And then I did have up here because people are talking about, is CM Punk going to be at Survivor Series because it's in Chicago, blah blah blah. I
want your thoughts.
I'm very torn because I feel like it makes sense for him to be there because it's Chicago and they know that they're going to be going absolutely nuts all night chanting his name, either because, you know, they think he's going to be there or just because they want to see him. To me, I feel like it just still doesn't make any sense unless they're planning on Nakamura. That's the thing. If Nakamura comes out and like issues an open challenge, you know exactly what's happening. And I feel like that's kind of sucky because I would rather like I said, if it was like in the middle of Mobile, Alabama, like that makes it a little bit more unpredictable. But I feel if Nakamura is on the show in some capacity, or like, you know, talking backstage, or there's another video for him, or he does an open challenge, you know immediately that it's going to be CM Punk. So, but I think that the only reason why it might happen at Survivor Series is because of where they are.
That's
I
the
think
only
that's
reason
the
why
only
people are freaking out. And
it's the only reason. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense
no
to
sense.
happen. I mean, it makes sense to happen on Raw. Like if Shinsuke does do an open challenge, or not even an open challenge, like he goes into the ring and calls the person out. That would make more sense, but that doesn't have to happen in Chicago. It's just because it's in Chicago that people are saying Punk's going to be there. But that's literally the only way it makes any sense. Like
it's the only way. It
Yeah.
makes no sense. They sold tickets for this event months in advance when CM Punk was employed
Yeah.
by AEW, and they don't need Punk right now. However, in wrestling, you gotta ride the hottest wave or ride the wave. And if there was a time in history that you could make it work with CM Punk, it would be now. So, you know, he doesn't need to be in the title picture. He doesn't need to do any of that. Have him have matches with guys like Shinsuke Nakamura. Because let's face it, when Punk is on, he is one of the best in the world on the mic and in the ring. Nakamura is one of the most underappreciated wrestlers in WWE. Let Punk be someone who can highlight that. So I'm for it. I'm for it if he comes, but you gotta do it. You gotta do it in a smart way. And I just want to experience social media. I don't care if I can weed through the match results, whatever. That's not a big deal. But I want to see the IWC explode.
So do I have to tell you if Punk shows up then? On
I
Saturday?
want you to tell I want you to tell me just if he shows up. I need to know that.
Okay, so that's the only spoiler I can give you.
That's the only real spoiler I would like.
Okay.
For anyone who doesn't know, can't watch it personal reasons on Saturdays. So guess who's starting their Sunday football off with some wrestling? Not the worst thing in the world. I need to know because that, like, I need to see the IWC burn. Like that gif of Donald Glover walking into the apartment.
Were you not on Twitter when he left?
Oh my God. When he left WWE?
When he left WWE.
Fairly, I was new. I was fairly new on
Twitter. I experienced all of this. So because I used to only be in WWE, like wrestling Twitter. So
it's a hell of a place to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's toxic.
Oh, it is.
But everything is toxic. I mean,
yeah, at this point,
wrestling Twitter, football Twitter, basketball Twitter, whatever, Twitter in general is toxic. So
it is.
Anyway, I just wanted to make sure we included CM Punk because everyone is still talking about it.
They're still talking about it. They were chanting his name at Full Gear. Like he just, it doesn't matter where he is. He's a wrestling cultural icon.
He has a cult following.
It's insane.
Yeah.
That you got to cash in on, but you got to do it smart. You got to do it the right way. Let us know your comments in the below.
Your predictions.
Your predictions. What do you think is going to happen? All that in the comments below. And I'll
be cutting these too into clips. So
yes, we'll be cutting these into clips, so you can go check those out in the archives. Sarah Marshall. I saw it was Sarah Marshall P&S wrestling show. So that's what you search.
I think it's because if I put in WWE, then people would think I was in WWE. You know, because a lot of people, when they do their name and then they'll do like dash WWE, they think it's like, oh, it's because they're saying they're in WWE. I was like, if I did that, then people will think I was in the company, and I'm not. So
no, not yet. Not yet. Oh, I thought Jade. Nope, she's not doing anything. Okay. Yeah. So go check that out. Pitch, you better stay off socials that day. I know, Vinny. I know I gotta stay off socials. It'll be easy to stay off socials with where I'm going. So I'm
going to hell. No, just kidding.
I'm going.
I don't want my phone to melt. I don't want my phone to melt, guys.
You need that for the next day. Come on. Yeah. So yeah, go check those out. Hit that subscribe button if you are new. I know we had some new people in here. We thank you for tuning in.
Thanks for all the comments
today. And all the comments. It was great. We love it. And enjoy Survivor Series on Saturday. Enjoy Thanksgiving if you celebrate. I know we had someone in Portugal today who doesn't celebrate it, but still a great day to give thanks and be
have a great long weekend. How about that?
That's great. A great long weekend. Next show will be on. Wait, were we gonna do a reaction, or you wanted to? We can just.
You said you couldn't on Saturday, so
that's true. No, I mean like Sunday or Monday.
Let's see how the show goes. Yeah, so Sunday or Monday for sure. Yeah,
Sunday or Monday for reaction, and obviously we'll be back on Tuesday for the Raw Rewind. So stay with us until then. Check out the content in the archives. Check out all our social media platforms in the link in the description below. Links are in the description below. And yeah, until then, thank you guys for tuning in. God bless. Remember that you can do it. All you gotta do is try. We will see you next time. Yeah. Yeah.